maybe you don't even fully know that person. Maybe you never did. That's a part that people don't really think about. I mean, you're
Mhm.
dating somebody for how long? Sometimes a year, maybe, before you make a decision, maybe 2 years before you get down on one knee and propose. Come on now, she's had an entire lifetime before you, an entire lifetime, and you've had her for a year or so.
So
You know how many dudes she had before you? You may or may
I,
not. I mean, she didn't have quite a bit of D before she ran into yours. She didn't
so
have other boyfriends before she ran into you. She didn't did some things. She didn't had a whole life before you. So, are there some award-winning actresses out there? Yes, there
so
are. Do
so here
women switch up like that? Yes, they do. They switch up like that. But to Marcus's point, there are red flags, there are signs that dudes tend to ignore, that they don't want to deal with, they don't want to see. I got some homeboys, same way. There's some shit that came up, and I'm like, I know you just saw that, didn't you? You didn't see that? Because I just saw that shit. You she topped you off, so it's cool now. Oh, okay. You wore her out last night, so it's all good. You're not even gonna address it, you're not gonna talk about it. Okay, bet. I'm gonna notate it. And then as time goes on, those things kind of add up. And if they're getting towards the end or close to the marriage or close to the wedding, and they're like asking their boys, so what y'all think? It's too little, too damn late to be asking that shit. And if you are asking that shit, deep down inside, you know something's off. You know something's wrong. If you got to sit up here and have to reassure yourself all the time, you have to always defend her or always defend yourself to your boy. You already know something's wrong. You already know deep down inside you're fucking up and you're making a mistake. So we gotta stop lying to ourselves. I tell my friends, I tell my boys, it is what it is. If we fall out, we fall out. But I'm not about to sit up there and watch you do something without me saying my piece. And I'm not going to do it at the altar and be like, "Hey, speaking now forever, hold your peace." Yeah, you should marry her. No, I ain't going to do that. But ahead of time, best believe I'm gonna be like, "Bro, I don't know. I mean, you saw this, you saw that. What you think? What did you see? What did you see?" And then after that, that's on them. But I said my part and I did me. I was a real friend. I was a real one. I was a stand-up guy, and I said my part. So
so
Oh, man, that's like
it,
literally what I did. I asked the questions and showed the narrative of how it was going to work, but didn't make a definitive statement because I've been through this too many times. I know how people respond because when you see it and they don't, and you point it out, bro, they normally lash out at you. It's like when you see a couple fighting and you try and step in and separate it, the couple jump you. It's one of those type of scenarios, right? And
but that's
I
when you
give you a
know it's
prime.
fucked up, though. You
Listen,
know it's
y'all heard
messed
what
up.
Eve said,
I
man.
I
You
Cut
give
them
know
you a
it's
niggas
prime.
messed
I
out.
give
up
you a
if
prime
they do
example.
that.
I had a friend. We had a party, right? It was his birthday party. Old girl that he was dating came in, and we was at the table with a couple of the girls we went to high school with. She seen that, got mad, stormed out, and ran down the street. He got up. I stopped him. I put my hand on his shoulder, like, bro, sit back down. Do not chase this girl. You chase her now for this silly shit, you're gonna be chasing her for the rest of your relationship. And what's happening? He going through the same thing, getting ran through the ringer, specifically because of that. Another dude, when we was getting money, I'm like, bro, don't spend all your money on her every day. You're gonna set a standard and she gonna expect it. And she the type of person that's not gonna let you live this down. Man, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna soon as stuff start, you know what I'm saying, getting a little shaky when what we was doing. Now he got to get out here and like he ended up dying trying to do some extra stuff to make the money that we was previously making. Like it's just I seen it
It's a
time and
shame.
time
It's
and
a
time
shame.
again. Like I continuously see that, bro. And men know what they be doing, bro. Like you know that you are choosing to ignore these signs of somebody. Now, is there somebody out here who could be a incredible Academy Award actor? I say that's the minority.
I
I
don't
don't think the
I don't
vast
know about
majority
that.
of these people are out here being
Yeah.
able to maintain a personality, or you're not looking at them. Like when I say look at them, I mean when you're not look. The best way to see somebody is by not looking at them, right? Because when the situation don't involve you, how do they interact with their cousin? That one person that they hate at work. What is their thought process behind engaging with them at work? How do they deal with adversity? Do they always want to get they like? One thing about me, I'm not dating women that want to get their lick back. Like if you are the type of woman who says you do me wrong and I'm gonna get revenge, That's one of the biggest red flags you can ever have. Cause that lets you know that one day you gonna be the person that do her wrong and she gonna take her revenge out on you. And she could have been even killed the whole time, but you knew that was her personality trait. I when I used to fire people from the job, I never fired nobody for what they did. I always fired people for how they brain work. I want to know how your brain work so I could predict things that you may or may not be capable of
That's
moving
real.
forward. And
So
That's
I think
real.
it's a lot of that in relationships. If you just look at how somebody you like when you really get to know somebody past their looks and dissect the way their thought process is, you can find out a whole lot about them without them telling you nothing,
and
without
there's
them saying nothing.
I
But
agree
Marcus,
with
a whole lot changes too when they
I
get
got
real
you, man.
comfortable.
You go
A
after him.
whole lot changes when they get comfortable. You gotta be mindful of that. When the comfort sets in, when they think they're safe, they got it, everything's in the bag.
Claws in.
What claws are in? Watch everything and see how the dynamic changes. See if they start, acting a little different, acting a little funny. Because when they get relaxed and chill, they're not gonna have that same energy. Certain ones aren't gonna have the same energy they had before because they ain't got to. They won the championship ring. A
I
lot
agree
of
with
people,
Marcus on this point.
Yeah.
a lot of women's goal is just to get the ring, not to be married and build a wonderful life and a wonderful family, but it's to actually get the ring. So just be mindful of that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, honestly, I agree with Marcus on this point because the only difference is when you're not paying attention, it's like subtle, it's like small little things you gotta look for. But a lot of us miss it because guys, we thinking about all this other type of stuff. We got work, if you got kids, you gotta think about them, you got family, you gotta make sure everybody's taken care of. So a lot of little small little things we miss. So then when she started doing the big stuff, now that's when you see it. But if you was paying attention to the whole thing, you already knew she had a bad attitude. You already knew she don't know how to respect men. You already knew she didn't probably have a dad in her life. She have all this trauma and all this type of stuff built up, or she don't respect the man that's in her life. Because if she respect the man that's in her life, that means she will look at you as the man that she want that was in her life too now, because you're supposed to be taking over. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of little signs that is kind of subtle that we miss. And then because like Shannon said, we in the box. So we just thinking about that type of stuff. And then once once that started wearing off, now it gets old. Now we start looking at, oh dang, I need to get rid of her. I'm tired of her type of deal. And now I'm on to the next one, and then the cycle just repeat.
So I think
Now,
we
I want-
expecting people to have game though. Not everybody has discernment. Not everybody has game. Not everybody has a male positive role model in their lives. We're talking from a certain space, right? Like most of us had that. Most of us have game that's up here sitting right now. But a lot of us help other people that are in our lives that don't have a damn clue. All of these things that we take for granted, right? That how we could just see we have discernment, we have game, we know how to peep things, right? There's a lot of younger dudes and some older who just don't have a clue. They're gonna miss it. They're not gonna be able to observe that. So at the very least, just protect yourself. That's what I would say, because not everybody's going to have that. Some people try really hard and they just don't get it. They're always going to be socially awkward. They're never going to get it. They're not going to understand people. Some people just don't get it. And I've tried to help people. They can see things happen. And then part of that good faith that we were talking about a little bit more, they want to save them. Sometimes they be like, no, I see the good in her. I'm going to give her what she wants. And I'm sure she's going to change for me. That's what people do, right? And it's all wrong. But most of these guys are not going to get it. I'm telling you right now, they're not going to get it. So what I'm telling you is people who listen to us, I think they will. But if you're not, they won't. Like if they're or somebody else who knows the game, they're not going to know. The very least, protect yourself no matter what, because all these guys ain't going to have that game that you're taking for granted right now. You feeling like everybody should have this gift. It's a gift. This sermon's a gift. It's not common. Right? That game is not common. That's what we have to understand. We have to be able to empathize with the people who weren't blessed or fortunate or whatever you want to call it, to have those role models in the lives that we did, to be able to discern the way we do. It's different for everybody, right? Everybody has different experiences and they all weren't dealt the same deck. Of course, they don't have the same hand. So you're fortunate. You had the things that helped you get at that game and everything, but a lot of people don't.